How's it going, everybody? Avizzo here, and welcome back to the next Talk Time episode. Currently, it is 10:13 p.m. on April 22nd, 2016. I'm not using a new face cam or anything. I'm going back to the old classic, or trying out the old classic, using my phone as my webcam, or my video, or my screen recording of my face for these videos. So hopefully it looks a little bit better. Because in the past, like in all my Talk Time episodes with OBS when I record and whatnot, I make the video and everything. It actually looks decent quality. And then when it publishes to YouTube, if I move around too much, it gets really pixelated and it looks like shit. So I thought I'd try out the face cam, or I mean my phone, and see how it comes, or how it turns out. Because in the past I used to use my phone as my webcam, and so now I thought I'd use it again and see if it looks better. Because so far it already looks great. I mean, looking at my my beautiful face on that screen, actually looks really good. And plus I can get other angles and stuff, or better looking angles, if I feel like they look decent. But anyways, it's been a pretty decent week, I guess, other than the fact that I got fucked over by GameStop and didn't get any money for my console back, and I can't really sell it at GameStop or anywhere to get my full money back. So the only place I can really do it is eBay or Craigslist, or actually some people who are interested in person, like that I know that I go to school with. There's one person who's interested. They only have like $100 or something like that, so they're waiting, because apparently their their parents were wanting to buy with them a console if they had a good deal for like their birthday or Christmas, I believe. I forgot. But they don't have the money at the moment, so he's got to wait for that. And another person, actually no, I think actually someone else was interested in it, but they haven't given a price on how much they want to pay for it. But I mean, I spent $430 in total, so, and I'm looking for $350, so I mean that's a pretty good fucking deal considering it comes with 2 games. However, I may end up selling the console for $300 and then trying to sell the game separately, because I know someone who wants both of those games, and they're actually going to pay the full price of $60 because they literally were open once in the disc, so just like brand new. So hopefully I can get those sold, because yeah, it's actually an alright console. I think I'm just hating on it considering I just played GTA on it, and that game is a pretty big open world game to begin with, so that's probably why it has really low FPS, which makes sense. And I want it for Call of Duty, but the old Call of Duties still aren't even backwards compatible like MW2, and that's like all I want to play, so I'm just fucking waiting for that to come out. But the person that wants to buy the 2 games separately, or just the 2 games for $120, they told me that the MW2 and MW1 were backwards compatible, so I was like, oh yeah, sweet, I'll fucking get one now. But nope, they were lying. So yeah, I was kind of disappointed in that. But if the MW2 is backwards compatible right now, I'd probably be using it. Yeah, so I was pretty disappointed about that. What else? I mean, I'm walking for a couple of hours tomorrow for Relay for Life from 8 to 10. I was doing it originally for community service, but I already have my 10 hours. I think I've talked about it before. Oh, excuse me. I think I've talked about it before, that we have to, at my school, when you're a senior, you have to get 10 years of community service, 10 years, 10 hours of community service. And you can either get both in one semester, or you can get 5 and 5, or you can do like 7 and 3, which is what I did. And I already got my 3 hours for walking dogs, but I'm doing it for no reason with my one of my friends. And I actually have to get up tomorrow, where once I wake up, I'm gonna go to the animal shelter and have them sign my my slip, or my paper that says that I actually went and did this. So that'll be interesting, I guess. What was nice though about yesterday, when I drove to go try and sell my Xbox back to GameStop, on the bright side, I was able to get over my fear of driving in that area, because when I first got my license or whatever, I wasn't like scared to drive anywhere. And then I got into an accident a week after I got my license, and that fucking scarred me. And for about 6 to like 8 months, I was so terrified to even drive into my small town. Like, it's like a couple of miles away, just driving to town, and I was so terrified. Like, I didn't want to go onto the main street. I would drive in the back roads, and that was a pain in the ass. Or it was a pain in the ass that I was so fucking scared. And then I was really scared to drive to this area that was 15 miles from, or 15 minutes away from me. And I did that like it was no problem, because I mean, it was a lot closer. And then this place that took like half an hour to get there, it wasn't as bad either. But yeah, especially since I had a GPS, or I learned from a friend of mine, the person that was next to me or went with me to buy the console originally, they convinced me, or they showed me that you can use the GPS on your phone, on the maps thing, and you can actually set it to route and whatnot. I had no idea. I thought you just put in the address and then it would have like your blue dot of where you are, and then have a like, what would I say? It would have the location pin like over here, and I just had to figure out my way over there. But you can actually type it, or you can actually press the side button to get directions, and it actually tells you where you're going. So that was pretty nice. So I'm really glad I used that. But yeah, that made driving in that area so much easier. The only problem though was certain times when I would be driving, I wouldn't be having the best connection, so it would be very delayed. Like it would tell me to turn, or I'd have to turn right on this road, but on the GPS it was saying like I was like really far from it, so I wasn't sure if that was the turn where I was supposed to go. So I would end up missing certain turns because of that. It was on when I was on the freeway too. Wait, is it a freeway? I think it's a freeway, but you go 65 miles on this certain road. And I didn't want to just try and fucking merge into traffic when everyone was going fast. I was like, nope, not gonna happen, not gonna happen. I actually drove by an accident yesterday too. When I was driving by, there was this like small white sedan. I think sedans are just like normal cars, like a Honda or something like I drive. But they rear-ended a truck, and like the truck, the back was kind of dented, but it wasn't so bad. but the car was like all smushed in the front, because that's how cars are supposed to do that now, because it's a lot safer, because it gives you more time to reach or slow down and stuff. So it gives you a better chance of surviving a car accident. But that was funny. I was like, wow, okay, well that sucks. I remember that when that happened to me, even though it wasn't a rear end thing, it was from the side. But yeah, someone told me, or the previous Talk Time episode actually went really well, because a lot of people really enjoyed the the memory stuff, like of me talking about stuff in the past. And if I can think of stuff on the top of my head, it was funny. One time there was this one kid in our class who was like very immature like I was, but I made him that way. Okay, it was like around 6th grade. This guy showed up, and I just like started telling him all this fucking shit. I was so immature. I was like, hey man, you want to know what this word means? So blah, 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 blah. I would tell him like all this stuff, and then we would just laugh at the stupidest things. Like when we were back in the day, we thought the word job was funny because, like, you know, blow job, hand job, all that stuff. So we could not stop laughing whenever we would hear someone talk about the word job. It was stupid. It was just stupid little kid humor. And at our school, we had this term called, well, we had a few terms for this, but for people for farts, people would call them majors, they would call them supremes, they would call them massives. I don't know why we had those code names, but we did. So yeah, so like people would end up going around and being like, oh dude, I got a supreme, listen to this, and then like they would just fart, and everyone thought it was the funniest thing ever. Well, the guys did anyway. All the girls were like, that's fucking nasty, you guys are immature, blah blah blah. It was terrible. But anyways, this guy that I was talking about that like does all this, or I taught all this stuff, he one time, because in our class we had this like webcam thing, or not a webcam thing, but it was kind of like the old-fashioned thing where it's like a big, like, I don't fucking know what to call it, but it shines light down onto this thing, and you put like the see-through paper on top of it, and you can write stuff on it, and it shows it on the board because it displays it. It's like a projector. And well, it was something like one of those, but it had this thing where it also had like a camera on it, and you could actually move the camera around, so like you lifted it up and it would show all the kids and stuff. And at one time it was aimed at this person, and it was really it like sat at him, or it looked at him for about a couple of seconds, and then he just flipped it off. Like he just like kind of gave a quick middle finger, and everyone just started laughing. And then the teacher was like all pissed off at him, and he was like, it was an accident, even though he totally did it on purpose. He's like, I didn't mean to. Man, the olden days were pretty lit. It was pretty funny back in the day. I kind of talked about a little bit too much stuff before I could get into the memory stuff, so I didn't really have much time to talk about this stuff. But anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoy this talk time. Hopefully the face cam with my phone looks a lot better. It certainly does look a lot better quality when I'm looking at it. But anyways, guys, take care, have a great day, and peace.